What's up, everyone, and welcome back to In the Lane podcast. This is the podcast where your favorite New England athletes, coaches, and more are interviewed and asked questions about their sport, life, and more. I'm your host, Mike Lane, and today we welcome newly named head football coach for North Andover High School, Coach Matt Cerullo, coming up next on In the Lane podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the 5th edition of In the Lane podcast, filmed at Van Studio on Main Street here in North Andover, Massachusetts. I'm Mike Lane, your host of the show, and across the way is our guest for today, Coach Matt Cerullo. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach.
No, thank you for having me, man.
Of
Thank
course.
you for having me.
I definitely want to talk about you becoming the head coach of the Knights, but let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
When you were younger, were you ever a football player?
I was a football player. Didn't want to be. Starting off, man, my favorite thing was I was a baseball guy. And I loved baseball, was my passion. And then I think my parents really were the ones who wanted to get me involved in football. My brother Mark, who was he was a very good football player at Lawrence High School. They kind of had these visions of me playing. I had no interest whatsoever. They brought me down to, at the time, was the Lawrence Stadium, which is where Lawrence Pop Warner would practice. And at that time, there was a coach down there by the name of Billy Bluen, Coach Bluen. So I was off to the side with my parents. The president of the league, who was Mr. Farrow, was with them. And Mr. Bluen kind of was like, giving me something like, hey, why don't you play? Don't you want to be tough? Football's for tough guys. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And then he's like, listen, if you play, I'll get you an ice cream from the ice cream truck. So that's what kind of, honestly, that one ice cream changed the whole trajectory of my life, man. So, yeah.
So what high school did you start playing?
Lawrence High School.
Nice.
Lawrence High School.
And what position did you play?
I was a linebacker, free safety, running back, receiver. There you go. Those are the ones.
Did you ever overcome an injury or some sort of struggle when you were playing football that really just changed you and made you a better individual?
I don't know if I had an injury that made me a better individual. I had a crack in my collarbone my sophomore year. That was pretty significant. And then my senior year, I kind of re-injured it. But my senior year, it kept me out. My sophomore year, it didn't. So it was the first time in my life as a senior in high school where I had missed some substantial time. I missed about 2 games. I couldn't practice. And it kind of gave me a whole new perspective of what goes into the day-and-day process of recovering. But when I played, we didn't have all the stuff we have now, and honestly, to be quite honest with you, the coaches then at that time didn't really pay attention to you when you were kind of injured. You were kind of outcasted for while you were injured. You know what I mean? It wasn't as it is now. And to be honest with you, in some ways, the injury did change me because I always kind of said, man, if I ever become a coach, I'm never going to be like that. I want my guys to realize whether you're healthy or you're not healthy, I still got you regardless.
That's awesome. Did you ever play college ball?
No. Went to UMass Amherst, ended up transferring out due to a family situation and never ended up getting into it. That's what actually kind of sparked my interest in coaching, but yeah.
So what made you want to start coaching then?
Again, similar. It was, down at the stadium one day, my brother Mark was coaching Pop Warner. I think he was coaching I think it was the C team at the time, which I believe was the 12 to 13-year-old group or 11 to 12-year-old group. And he asked if I would help him out. I had no interest. Similar to getting involved in football, I had no interest when I wanted to play. So when he wanted me to coach, I was like, I'm all set. No, I'm really not interested in this. And then I think I went down to the field and I was working out. I was jogging around the field and I was watching people coach, but I wouldn't say they were coaching. They were just more or less yelling at the kids. Mm-hmm. No correcting, no teaching. And that's all coaching is teaching. And I think I asked my brother, I was like, hey, can I show this kid something? I can't remember the kid's name. He's like, absolutely. So I hopped the fence, showed him something. He did it. I was like, this is pretty cool. This isn't bad. And then I went back the next night. And then from that point on, that was it.
Clicked?
That was it. Literally, that one night just kind of set me up for the rest of my life.
How are you, whenever I see you at the football games, you are right there, so motivated, in the game. How are you just that motivated all the time?
This is my passion, man. Coaching is oxygen to me. I love being around it. I love the vibes. I love the atmosphere. I love the lights. I love the crowd. I love watching our kids struggle. I like watching them do good. There's so many human emotions. Football is such a wave of emotion. And athletics in general, you can go from being high one minute to on the lowest of lows the next minute. So I guess it's kind of like a metaphor for life, and I love every aspect of it. Like right now, I'm having a blast doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't even want to go to sleep. I want to keep working. So, yeah, I mean, and I think it's important because passion is energy. And one of my former mentors used to tell me, listen, great teams or great units or great players take on the personality of their coach. So my attitude has always been, listen, if I show up and I give you full 1,000% effort, then I expect the same from you. Like, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I can't do. So if my energy's up, your energy needs to be up. So that's always kind of how I feel when I go into it.
That's really cool. Going back to your early life, did you play any other sports?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing baseball. I was a big basketball player for a while. I was a 3-sport athlete, year round. It was literally football season, baseball season, basketball, football, basketball, baseball, football, basketball, baseball. And I think as I got older, as into my 8th grade year, I kind of started to shift away. I wanted to play football more and more. And then I got to high school and I played baseball for 2 years, and I was kind of like, I'm good. I just want to focus on football. I did track in high school and stuff like that, but my main thing was football after my sophomore year. It was just football for me.
Just football all the way?
Yeah, all the way, man.
So you're from Lawrence.
Yep.
How special is that city to you?
It's incredibly special. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like it has its ups and its downs, like every city. But being from there, it's hard to kind of explain. Like I always talk to people about it. I'm like, when you're from Lawrence, I don't know. It just when you run into other people from Lawrence, you just have a connection. There's something that you just kind of vibe off of. It's no different. There's times I'm running into people who are from Lowell, and for whatever reason, we just hit it off. Like, oh, you're from Lowell, I'm from Lawrence. So it's like that. Being from that area made me who I am. It gave me an edge in life. Like it kind of gave me like that edge of like the street toughness and the street mentality. And it was just kind of like, you kind of learn so much from that. And I was fortunate. I grew up around some amazing guys, amazing friends who kind of taught me life. And to be quite honest with you, probably the best aspect of being from Lawrence was that you'd learn to deal with race at a young age. Like you're around so many different cultures and everything at a young age. And you grow up and it's acceptable because you love it, So I get people who come in when I was in college who would walk in and they were very sheltered and they were never around Hispanics, you know what I mean? And it's like, or black people or Asians. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this has been my life. So, yeah, that gave me the edge in life and it gave me like that acceptance in life as well.
That's really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So did you start coaching in Lawrence?
I did. I started coaching at Lawrence Pop Warner, the little guys. I started coaching the little guys, moved up a little bit. And then it was Mike Yameen. He had gotten hired in Lawrence High as the new head coach, I think in 2005. And at that time, I was coaching what you call the B team in Lawrence. So I was like, they were like 12 to 13-year-olds, I believe. And he called me. He's like, listen, I'd love for you to come on and volunteer. I did. There was like no questions asked. I was like, I'm in. Volunteer, great. I think at the end of that year, he'd given me like a thank you card with like $100 bill in it. I was a volunteer, so I wasn't supposed to be paid, And I remember I got that $100 bill, and I was like, I'm the man. Like, I'm getting paid to coach. And I look back on it now, man, it was $100. Like, it wasn't that much. But for me, it was a step in the right direction, and it kind of set the standard of like, oh, okay, this is how it is. You got to earn your way through this thing. You know what I mean?
That is really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're at North Andover.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here for a few years. What made you want to come coach at Lawrence and then eventually coach at North Andover? Like, what made you want to come to this great town?
I don't know if anything actually made me want to. I was in Lawrence. It was a regime change. My mentor had got let go. I was kind of like in limbo. I didn't know what was going to be going on. I wanted to remain in Lawrence because I had a really good relationship with those seniors, and some of which I'm now coaching with. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, and the new head coach came in. And it's part of the business. I mean, it's the part of the coaching thing that people don't discuss and talk about. It happens more often than not. I wasn't retained onto that staff, and it hurt and it crushed me because that's my hometown. I loved it, and it bothered me. And I want to say a few days went by, and I got a phone call from Mike Yameen, who was my mentor, and he's like, Maddie, Dubzinski called. Coach Dubzinski from North Andover called me. I was like, okay. He's looking for a D-back coach. I think he originally called for Mike Yameen, and Mike Yameen's like, listen, I got a guy for you. So he called me. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, just take the meeting. I met up with Coach Dubzinski. He was kind of talking to me about everything, and I'm like, all right, I like it. And then I was just like, let's do this. And, it was right then and there. It was an amazing time. He called me. We had a good conversation, met up with him. And, yeah, I've been there since 2018.
What are some things that you want to improve for North Andover football as the new head coach? Is it talent, or is it maybe something else?
I don't think it's. Talent. Talent is talent. You know what I mean? It's going to be every city program wherever you go. Like every program is going to have their set of talent. You know, and you're going to have some programs that maybe don't have as much. I think for me, if there's one thing I want to change, it's probably maybe one, just more youth involvement for me, more alumni connection, and more attention to detail. So I think those three things kind of are, the youth and the alumni are so important because the kids that we have right now were once youth and they're going to be alumni. So there's levels to it. And it's, if you ignore them when they're youth, you know, maybe not get them in the present. And if you ignore them when they're youth, you may not get them at present, and then they don't get to be alumni. So for me, it's bringing all those together. It's the past, present, future that I do think we need to do a better job of. Not that it didn't exist. It just needs. I think we could do a better job of that, and more attention to detail. You know, more film prep, more scouting, stuff like that. You know, just things that I feel are very imperative to a football program.
What are some goals that you want to accomplish in your first season as the head coach for the Knights?
Goals? Oh boy. Well, I mean, one, I want to have a good first day of practice. You know, that's number one. I want to have a good first day of practice. I want to have we had a successful meeting last Friday. I met with the boys, you know, just to kind of let them know that I just have a little patience. I'm getting the staff together. So I think if there were levels to it, had a good first meeting. So that's number one, right? And number two, I want to have a good staff. So that's the process I'm going through right now, of putting a good staff together. Number three is making sure our guys are taking care of their business in the classroom, make sure they're eligible, make sure their GPAs are where they need to be. I would also say, to be quite honest, I want our guys more involved in the community. So there's just levels to it. Of course, the games are the games, right? But I think the quote we've been using now is, I say STM, which is stack the moments. Meaning I don't focus on the scoreboard with the kids. I kind of tell them, listen, in every single football game, there's a moment, right? And every moment in a game starts with kickoff return. That's how every football game starts, in every single level, whether it's Pop 1 or high school, college, or pros. Starts with a kickoff. Now, are you on kickoff team or kick return? Either one, win that moment. After you win that moment, now focus on the first play of the game. If you're on offense, win that moment. Win second down. Win the next moment. If you do those enough, if you win enough of those, you're winning the football game. That's just a reality. So my main thing is, like, I always tell the kids, stack the moments. And that's not only when it comes to the games, it's also like in general. Meaning, what was the first moment for me? Get the job. The job got secluded. Boom. The job got secured. That's number one. Now, number two is having the first meeting. First meeting, secured, done. Hiring staff, close to finished with that. So I'm just kind of taking things one by one, but I'm not going to lie. It's hard because I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I'm so excited to get to the next thing, and I'm trying to focus on what's in front of me at the same time.
How is off-season training going to look like? I imagine it's going to be really, really intense.
Yeah, I mean, it's always intense. I mean, we're going to start up in a couple of weeks. I feel this time next year we'll already be a couple of weeks in. Obviously, I just got the job, so I'm making sure I have a good staff in place. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of good strength and conditioning. We do our strength and conditioning off a program I'm involved in where me and my best friend run it. It's called Pack Performance. My best friend just got hired. He's the new Andover head coach.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so he's my best friend, and we do Pack Performance together. I'm so proud of him and happy for him. So we run our strength and conditioning. We do a lot of speed work. We'll do 7-on-7, stuff like that. It's intense, but at the same time, you want to make sure they're enjoying that moment as well. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely intense. The summer, the training prep is literally what makes the season. You know, so it's going to be intense, but at the same time, you need to make sure they enjoy it. Because if they don't enjoy it, they don't want to come back.
So true.
Yeah.
I just thought of a new name that the North Andover rivalry, it could have an alternate name.
What's that?
The Pack Performance Bowl.
There you go.
That'd be really cool.
I like it. I like it. We're gonna have to talk to whoever's in charge of that, man. Get that going, you know.
Are there any players that you're just really pumped to see play next year?
I mean, all of them, obviously. I mean, that's the good answer. I'm definitely excited for Alex Phillips. You know, he's been a 3-year starter for us. He's dominant in the middle. You know, we got Billy Vincent. He's been a dual threat he was a dual threat for us last year. We have this young kid, David DiPrizio. He started as a sophomore this past year on defense, and I think the world of him. We got Marcus Peralta. I can keep going, man. I can give you Austin Allen. I hope, you know, we're gonna see if he gets a shot this year. We got Aiden McGarry. We got what else? I'm gonna get in trouble here because I'm gonna leave somebody out. But we have a lot of good time. I mean, the reality is too. It's as much as I'm sitting here and naming names. there's going to be a kid who I'm not even thinking of that's going to come out of nowhere and kind of shock us and go, all right, we got to get him on the field. So I'm excited about that part because with me, I've never believed in putting the best player on the field. It's the right player. Meaning, what's your scheme? All right, this kid may be the best option, but this kid's the right one. And that could mean this kid's more talented, but this kid just knows his system better, and he's going to make the right plays all the time. So I just think it's a matter of what your viewpoint on it is. But I want to see them all play, man. To be quite honest with you, I'm a developer. I love developing kids. I love developing them when they walk through the door. Maybe they can't backpedal and they leave and they're weaving flawlessly. So I can't wait to start working with every single one of them.
What's your favorite memory from playing football and a favorite memory from coaching?
My favorite memory from playing, there's two. My favorite memory from playing, I remember when I was in Pop Warner. It was my favorite memory of all time. I remember scoring a touchdown to beat Chelmsford. It was the last second touchdown. We beat Chelmsford. And probably in high school, my favorite memory, it was weird because when I grew up, like Lawrence High, we weren't really good. There was usually, I used to make the joke, there was two people in the stands and it was my mom and my dad. So that for me, even though it's a sad thing because there was only two people in the stands, they were still there for me. So that is a great memory for me. Them always being at the games I played in, the games I even coached in up until they both passed. But yeah, I mean, that's my favorite memory for coaching. Easily 1,000%. 2018, get into Gillette Stadium, and coming from the down point a few months before that, where I was let go in Lawrence, I wasn't retained, and to kind of go into feeling down about that, going to North Andover and literally going on an undefeated season and going to Gillette Stadium and winning the state tournament, and it's just like, wow, like this is amazing. It was like a movie, you know what I mean? Like it's literally a movie script that you would start if you saw it in a movie. Like there's no way this would happen. So as a coach, definitely winning the title. As a player, I would say that moment in Pop Warner, and then obviously in high school, my parents being there every game.
Really special moments.
Oh, 1,000%, 1,000.
What's your favorite professional football team, and do you have a favorite college football team?
Favorite professional team, the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. Favorite college team is Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I grew up wanting to play at Notre Dame. I grew up loving Notre Dame. I love the movie Rudy. Like anything Notre Dame growing up, man, I was in on. That's literally because of my brother. He loved Notre Dame, so I love Notre Dame. And they had some down years, but Marcus Freeman, he's got them back. So now It's exciting again. It's cool to be a Notre Dame fan now. It wasn't for a while. But now it's like, all right, we're back. So definitely the Patriots and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Last question of the podcast. If you could meet any football player ever, past or present, who would it be?
Lawrence Taylor. That's, for me, Lawrence Taylor was the standard when it came to like outside linebacker. He actually changed the way outside linebacker, the game was played at that position, So for him, I grew up a Giants fan. Because back in the day, a lot of you kids nowadays don't even know this. The Patriots were on what they call blackout, meaning they couldn't sell those games out at all. So those games were you couldn't even see them on TV. So the next closest area they would put on would be the Giants. The Giants were really good. So I got to see them win 3 Super Bowls. The Giants, I got to see them win 3 Super Bowls, 2 in the 80s, 1 in the early 90s when they beat the Bills. But Lawrence Taylor for me was... I don't think you could pick a better football player. He was just perfect. Now he had his off the field stuff, that he had an issue with. But Lawrence Taylor for me that's the GOAT, man. That's for me, that's the greatest defensive player of all time.
That's one of the best answers I've heard for that question.
Yeah, there you go, man.
That'll do it for questions for today's episode. Coach, it was awesome having you on the show. I hope you have the best of luck next year. I can't wait for next season. Dang, man, I appreciate that. We gotta get you guys. We gotta get you guys out to the games, man. Get you some gear. We gotta hook you guys up. We gotta get this going. We will. Yeah, we gotta get it going. Just a reminder, you can listen to In the Lane podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Also, make sure to check it out at northandovercam.org and type it In the Lane podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to drop a follow and a 5-star rating. You can also check out In the Lane podcast on Instagram. And make sure to drop a follow and stay tuned for announcements for upcoming episodes. If you're an athlete or coach and would like to be on the show, make sure to email inthelane@gmail.com and tell me why you should be the next one on In the Lane podcast. For our guest, Coach Cerullo, across the way, I'm your host, Mike Lane, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.